Good morning. Hello, everybody. Nice to see people starting to hop on. Welcome to our Friday edition of Coffee and a Card. Cheers to you, whatever beverage you're drinking. I had a very large coffee already this morning, so I'm on to water. Just plain old water. I got to drink my allotment. Nice to see people on already. Excellent. Hello, Betty. Okay, so we are streaming Facebook and YouTube. So whichever platform you are watching on, I appreciate you coming on this morning. And if you're watching the replay, I appreciate you as well. So thank you very much. You may still leave a comment. Remember that if you're watching live and you leave a comment, I enter you into my raffle. And I have last week's raffle winner right here. I'm hiding the name for a minute until some people hop on, and then I will um, reveal who the winner is. Okay. All right. Good morning, Nadine. Hello. Hello. All right. So we have New York and we have North Carolina joining us so far today. All right, wait, leave a message in the raffle. Say hello, who you're, maybe where you're from. It's always fun to see who we're reaching out to. And when you do leave some kind of message, even just a hello, then you're entered into the raffle. Okay, so appreciate that. Hope you have a great weekend planned. We have a lovely weekend planned. We are going to see our grandchildren a lot this weekend. We live nearby, but they're doing some sleepovers, so that's a lot of fun. They're very excited. And we are too. We are too. So cheers, good morning, take your sip, and we're going to get started pretty soon, right away. So, all right, we have Florida and UK, Minnesota, nice. I have some of my team members on, my Daisy Bunch team. Okay, nice to see you, Patty. And my friend Barbara Stampanopolis, she is, she's part of my team, and she did her very first workshop the other day, and it looks like it went well. So today at 1:00 Mountain Time, and that would be 3:00 Eastern Time. The rest of you can figure it out. She is doing her very first Facebook Live. So if you want to tune in to Stampanopolis, is her Facebook page, and support her, that would be fabulous. All right, leave a comment and say hello, and we're gonna cheer her on, because that's what we do with each other. We support each other, and we enjoy sharing our craft with everybody too. Right, I'm wearing my love t-shirt today. Got this when I was in Las Vegas for the leadership conference for Stampin' Up. We got to see the Beatles Cirque du Soleil show. That was a lot of fun, and so I figured love is good for Valentine's Day coming up. So there you go. That's my garb for the day. Who's making Valentine cards? Anybody? I don't make too many. I'll make a couple for my grandchildren, but otherwise I don't really send them out much, but I like making them. I wish I had a few more people to send them to, but actually sometimes we send them to the senior home, or sometimes my friends get together and we send them to the children's home. That's in our town also. Not sure if we'll have time to do that because we have a busy weekend, but we'll see. We'll do what we can, right? All right. So we're going to get started. We're one of my most popular YouTube videos from way back. I should have looked to see when that was done. Is clean and simple cards with a little bit of blending brush in the background and a little image on there. I love all kinds of cards, but clean and simple just kind of really speak to me. Just not too busy, not too overloaded. Just, it's like, relax, right? So that's what we're going to do today. Just relax, and we will, I'll show you a few different ways to use some masking and some blending brushes and your stamps too, but just clean and simple looks today. And I will put in the link below once our live is done, I'll put the link to my other YouTube video on what I've done with this in the past. Okay, a little bit different. I didn't do too much masking before. We're going to do a little bit of masking today. If you're not sure what that is, stay tuned because we'll get to that. All right, I'm going to switch my glasses here. I need those close-up ones for my work. Okay, the bifocals just don't cut it. Don't cut it. All right, before we get going, I will reveal my raffle winner. And That winner is, I'm going to switch my camera. We have Joanne Reed. Congratulations. I see Joanne is on. So congratulations, Joanne. I am going to send you, unless I see you next week on Friday, I don't know if you'll come down for Cards for Troops. Sometimes Joanne comes. I have this balmy blue stripe ribbon for you here. It's actually called double stitched ribbon because there's a very thin blue in the middle that has stitching on either side on a white like a herringbone pattern ribbon. It's really, really pretty and a nice, bright, springy color. So that's your prize. Let me know if you're coming down next Friday. Next Friday's Cards for Troops. So I won't be live here at 10, but we'll try to reschedule that. All right. So if you're not coming down, Joanne, I'll send it up to you. So just let me know. Okay. So here we go. I'm going to take a sip of water. Excuse me. I might clear my throat a little bit. Sometimes I have a little tickle there, but water will help. And I keep that behind me because it's not in a covered cup and I don't want to spill on anything. Okay, I have my 2 3/8 circle punch here today. And we are going to use that to create our mask. Now you can use just plain old copy paper like from your computer for your masks, or Stampin' Up! Does make sticky masking paper, or you can always use a sticky note, a Post-it note to help hold your mask in place. Whatever size you need, there are bigger sticky notes. You can use that. Whatever works for you is good, but I'm just going to use some copy paper. I have a lot of scrap paper, so I figured I'll use that up. I'm also going to use this die set and stamp bundle, the Delicate Forest. I love it. It's just these little silhouettes. So it really helps stamping easy. You can just do it in one color. And or you could blend colors on there too. But for a quick, easy card, you don't need to do any coloring in or any fussy changing of colors. And I'm going to be using some of these dies here. All right, so I have just a piece of copy paper. I have my card base. And clean and simple means a lot of what we call white space. That means a lot of blank space where you have a lot of focus on your image and your sentiment. I'm going to leave a little bit larger border than usual on this card. Very often on our standard card, which is 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4, we often do our next layer at 1/4 inch less than that. So 5 1/4 by 4. So I'm taking it a step down because I want a little bit more of a border because I'm just doing my next layer in white. So this one is actually going to be 3 3/4 by 5. All right, so see if I move it down to the corner, you could see there's a 1/2 inch difference in what you would cut. All right, so I want just that little bit of a border because I really want that layer to stand out because we are doing white on white there. And then I cut a piece of just copy paper to be just slightly bigger. Let's see. Yeah, I just went like 5 1/4. I did this one 5 1/4 by 4 because as I'm using my blending brush over my paper, I didn't want to catch the ends because we're just going to do some blending in the middle. So I made this just slightly bigger, but I'm going to turn it over and I can center it on my scrap paper. And this way I can put just a little bit of washi tape on there to hold it together. Okay. And then when I turn it over this way, it won't move around so much. All right. So let me first take this off and I'm going to use my 2 3/8 circle punch. I'm going to come in from the top or the side if you're holding your card horizontally or vertically. Let me just tip this up a little bit. Here we go. I'm going to just center that from side to side and get my hole punched in the middle. Now, there are two ways we're going to be able to use this. We could use the negative space to add our color in there, or we can, excuse me, we can use the part we cut out and then stencil brush around there, right? So I'm going to show you both ways and things that you can do with that. And like I said, you can hold it vertically, you can hold it horizontally, and we'll play around with orientation too. So I'm going to start first with this piece. So again, I'm going to just center my cardstock on that piece of scrap paper because I know it is measured to be proportionate to my actual cardstock layer. All right, so I'll do that. Okay, and I will also put a little washi down to hold it to my work surface so it doesn't slide around. Okay. Oh, you may be here next week, Joanne. Good. It would be wonderful to see you. Okay, we'll be at the coffee shop. All right. So, all right, I'm just going to put it right on that other washi tape. Well, it doesn't matter. I could put it on the scrap paper too. I was thinking that was my cardstock. That's the scrap paper. I'll put it right on the scrap paper. Excuse me. I told you I have this little tickle today. Okay. I did some in blues already. So for you right now, I'm going to be using some orange and yellow. So we're using Daffodil Delight, Calypso Coral, and Pumpkin Pie. Now that's kind of a lot of colors to be using on one small circle, but we're going to do the best we can. I am going to start with my lighter color first. And I have my blending brushes all here in this fancy schmancy sour cream container that I covered with my Daisy duct tape. So, yep, saving some money there. And I can make it whatever I want. All right, so we're going to use my blending brush. I just use one. I have one for all my yellows because you can just brush it off and it brushes clean. So there's very, very, very little yellow that came off there. So I'm just going to tap here, and you know with the blending brushes, you don't want to go directly onto the paper that you want to blend on because it's going to leave that initial impact of the tips of the brushes. If you go straight down on there, you're going to see those like a little rough area there. So you want to start off your paper with that swirling motion and just start moving into your open space. A lot of you know this already. So it's just a little review. And if you don't know it yet, I'm happy to show you today. Okay, see, you would get like a splotch like that there. So just start the motion and then, yeah, I should have a piece up there, shouldn't I? See, that's the reason. I don't want to get it caught. All right, let's try that again. Boop. All right, there we go. Okay, so now you can decide how you're going to want to blend this a little bit more shading on one side or adding colors one side or the other side, or do you want to go from the outside in or inside out? Just kind of, do a few and play around with them. Then, play around with a few card layers, and then you can decide how you want to put them together on your actual card front. Okay. So I think I'm going to work, try to get the more yellow on the outside and work my way in to some darker colors on the inside. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. I try things with you all the time, right? Okay, we have a lot of people from out west here today, don't we? Wow. Welcome, welcome. Okay, so now I have that. I keep it covered with this little plastic thing that says yellow. I know it's yellow when it's in there, but this way I don't put it in the wrong one. I don't put my yellow one back in the blue and get blue on my yellow brush. But these are, I cut the bags in half from my Stampin' Blends. My brushes fit perfectly in there, and they stand up in my little container, and they don't get dusty while I'm not using them. All right, so now on to my orange. I see again, it's wiped clean from the last time I used it. And, oh, actually, I'm going to do coral first. Okay, coral's kind of in between that pink and the orange, right? So you'll have to decide which brush you want to use. All right, so the coral. Now, I'm going to come in a little bit lightly on here, but I'm going to do a little bit more in the middle. I'm going to press a little bit harder in the middle there. Okay, I'm coming in so I don't have that initial impact of the tip of the brush. I'll make this one not all the way to the edge of my cutout. I want to save a little bit of that yellow showing there. Then I'll add a touch of the pumpkin pie more in the middle so it has a little bit more of that yellowy look. Right, you can always pick your paper up a little bit and peek inside and see how it's going. Okay. There you go. So it's got a little pinkiness there. I'm just going to rub that off. See, nothing's coming off, so it's all pretty clear from what I did there already. Now I'm going to go to the pumpkin pie and bring that in a little bit and get the center there. So it seems like it's more radiating out. And then if I wanted to get a little bit more precise, I could use my mini brush to get just a little bit more in there. Notice this one is brand new. Haven't used this one yet. Use other colors of my mini brushes, but not the orange. Depends how juicy your ink pad is as well, how many times you're going to have to ink up your brush. Ooh. All right, so I can start my motion and then gently come down onto that. Okay, so we've got a little bit more orange going on in there. Let's take a look underneath and see what we've got. I like to keep these in here then too, so I don't get ink on everything else if I hit the brush by accident. Okay, sorry for the crinkle, but let's take a peek, see what it looks like. Ooh, isn't that pretty? Okay, I did get a little bit of a splatter there, but you know what? We can always cover it up with something, right? Cover it up with embellishment or sentiment or my focal point. So let's see what we can do with this now. Well, while I have my inks out, let's do the reverse. All right. So I'm going to then take another piece of that 3 3/4 by 5. Yep, just double checking there. And this time we're going to use the actual circle that we popped. Okay, so I'm going to, a couple things you could do. What I like to do is just put, again, a little bit of that glue. The multi-purpose glue means multi-purpose because it can be permanent or temporary. I've showed you this in the past. So I'm just going to put just a little touch of the glue there, let it dry, and then it becomes tacky. See, it's sticking to my finger, but it is very removable. Just a little tacky like a Post-it note would be. I like to use my grid paper to help center it. I don't have my other piece to help center it this time. So I'm going to, this would be, I'm just inside the 2, and that'll bring me to the center side to side here. And as far as how high or low, that's just up to where I think I might want this to be. All right, so there we go. There's the sticky side. Then I'll just kind of line my circle up in the middle, pretty close there. Whoops. I didn't press down the sticky part. Okay, so see that sticky that's not going anywhere, but I am still going to kind of hold it with my hand just in case it does shift a little bit. So let's do a similar thing again. Let's start with the yellow. And this time we're going to have a white circle, right? Because we're just doing the reverse. Oh, you shared, Joan. Thank you so much. Thank you. Okay, so I don't want to tape this piece down because this is the part I'm going to be adding the color to, right? So we're taking our yellows. You're going to start off the page and then go on there like that. Okay, how many of you out there use blending brushes? Who likes using the blending brushes on their cards? It does give a nice overall soft color. You can blend it as much as you want, or you can leave it looking with various shades in there. Whatever your style is, whatever you like. But just always, you start light and then you can keep adding as much as you like. Okay. You can always come back to it also after you've added some other colors. It's okay too. All right, I think I will let's do the opposite on this one. Let's do the darker colors on the outside and then keep it lighter as we get to the middle, just to be opposite of this. Okay. See how that looks. I haven't done one in yellows and orange yet, so we'll see. If we don't like it, we can just say, all right, let's do it the other way next time. Okay, we'll bring in that Calypso Coral. And this will be a little easier to get to because I can come in from the outside rather than trying to start in the middle and working out. Okay, sometimes you will get a little extra dark on the edge, so you can either decide to just go with that and put that all around the edge, or you can take a little trim of it off if you don't like that. All right, so I'm going in this arched pattern here to keep with the circle. There we go. It's okay to get a little bit down here because I'm going to be going over that with the pumpkin pie layer too. Okay, Kathy likes blending brushes. Great. So many different techniques. I tend to use them all. So, or I go through phases, right? You kind of go through phases where, all right, they're out, so you tend to use them a little bit more and then move on to some other things for a while, different techniques. Okay, maybe a little bit more up here. Getting those pinks in there. Okay, again, you can kind of peek and see what's happening in there. Let's add a little bit of orange, brush off any of the coral that's there. See, it goes pretty clean. Get some more of the orange on the outside. Pumpkin pie. I like how it's a nice soft look to it. Oh, Netherlands, hello. Welcome. Okay. I see a lot of people watching from YouTube now. All right. Uh-oh. I pressed a little too hard. All right. So we're good there. And I'll close these up, get them out of the way. I'll put my sleeve in there. There we go. I still have some of the older style pads. So if you're wondering why this one looks different from this one, this is one of the older pads. But just to show you, the longevity of the Stampin' Up! Products, this is still working pretty nicely. All right. So as long as it's still working, I don't feel I have to replace it. The newer cases are a little bit more slim and they stack nicer. You have little holes here and you have little nubs underneath. So they do stack more nice, a little more nicely. Excuse me. And these are a little thicker for holding. They open a little bit differently, but this concept is the same, that the ink pad is stored upside down so the surface of the pad stays inked up. Same concept. This was, just the first one of those styles, and now we have the slimmer ones. Okay, let's reveal, see what we have here. Okay, so there we go. We have the positive and the negative, and then we can build the card from there. So let's see. I see it got a little bit of a smudge there. So again, cover it up. Don't tell anybody, just cover it up. So I'm going to have I haven't totally thought out this card. I like to kind of figure it out as I go along, but I have some ideas here. I'm thinking of having this one go horizontally. I am going to put dimensionals underneath here to pop it up, to give it a little bit more interest. And in my Delicate Forest stamp set, I found some of the dies that coordinate there, because last time I cut some of these out, I cut some extras. I had some scraps, so I just took a lot of these little pieces, these little sprigs of leaves, and I just cut out a bunch of them and kept them in an envelope here for when I need them quickly again. Right, so what's nice about these that are on the Delicate Forest, some of these sprigs are attached to this bottom piece. So this die here only has a cutting piece on the top, not on the bottom. So it would actually come out like this. Well, actually, let me show you this one here. Okay, so you can use it like a border. Oops, I'm sorry. Okay, so if you wanted to have more of a landscape, then it could go all the way across, and then you would have your, you could trim it down however you want. Okay, so for now, I'm going to just use these. And if I had thought about it earlier, I might have used my the adhesive paper to go behind there. All right, this one can go like this. All right, so that kind of reminds me of a little sunset. It's going to be such a plain and simple card. Okay, there are, like I said, there's little specks up there. So I'm thinking of maybe I could either bring in a ribbon or I could bring in some embellishments. Either way, I'm going to put my sentiment over here on the side. And this kind of reminds me of a card that you might want to send to show support to somebody, to be male or female. So in this set, I'm going to use hoping each passing day lets in a little more sunshine, because that is kind of like the sun, right? All right. All right. Oh, wow. We have 3 continents watching. Great. Nice to point that out. Thank you so much. Amazing. I never would have thought that I'd be doing this kind of thing. I mean, I was a teacher. I'm okay teaching people things, but never thought I'd be reaching out to so many people. So thank you very much for joining me and sharing your love of stamping with me, and vice versa. All right. So, sometimes these photopolymers get a little twisted. So I like to just lay them down on my table and then bring my block to the image there, or the sentiment, whatever it happens to be. Okay. I inked up my Memento pad last night, so it should be pretty juicy. I am going to just test it out over here. Make sure I'm not too messy. Okay, that's good. And before I put these down, I'm going to do my stamping first, because if I mess up my stamping, I haven't lost my dies, although I could always cut it down. there's always a way to fix something, right? All right, so here we go. I'm going to put this a little bit down to the right. Oh, I better get right over it so I don't do it crooked. For some reason, it does help just visually for me to line up with my grid paper. Let me tap it one more time. Oh, you know what? Yeah, I thought I got a little bit too much ink on the hoping part. I leaned a little too much on that. All right, here we go. Let's try this. Ooh, I don't know. Sometimes it looks like it starts to dry too quickly. It is a new stamp, so I did wipe it and use it a couple times because it gets a little bit of from the processing. Sometimes there might be some little oils on there, so use it, wipe it off on your cleaning cloth, whatever you like to do. So we're good. All right, let's cover that up. Let's just, now I can add these here. I don't want these just hanging. They could be okay that way, but I kind of want them coming from down below, like not just like floating in the air, so to speak. So I'm going to try to arrange them so that this one looks like it's growing out of that one. I kind of like that. Okay, so I'm going to put this one on first. And tiny dots of the glue. I just get it started, and then I just spread it with the tip of the glue. You don't want like a big dot or a big bead of glue there. I just barely start it and then just spread it. So when you press it down on your paper, it's not going to ooze out. At least you hope not. Oh no. Well, we might change our orientation here, guys. Hopefully we'll be good. Okay, not too bad. Shoosh. I have my adhesive eraser too. I can. Oh, good. Excuse me. All right, let's try this one. Now, the other thing you can do, and I've shown you this before, take your silicone mat, flip over your die cut, and using a sponge, put a little glue on your silicone mat, pick that up with your sponge, and dab it on the back of your die cut without moving your die cut, because once you move it, it's going to hit that other glue that's between what you are getting glue on. All right, so now that's all good. So whichever method you like best, go for it. Okay. Here we go. Clean and simple. All right, then just let this dry and then it will just rub off. I keep my sponge on a binder clip in this little container and I keep it off to the side. Very good. Okay, so then I'm going to put dimensionals on the back of here, have that raised up, and you have quick, simple, easy card. All right, I'll put, I keep saying I don't have to put all 9, but then I can't help myself. I want it all supported. I don't want it to look saggy, especially when this is it. It's not like you have anything else on there. So you really want it looking good. You don't want it looking messy. Okay, if you have trouble grabbing some of the backs of those dimensionals, just roll your finger across the flat edge and it should peel right up. You don't have to try to grab it until you've rolled up that edge. Sometimes it just peels right off. And some people like to use their pick tool to poke it and pull it up that way. That works too. Okay, I'm going to cut that little end off. I wouldn't have to because there is another layer underneath there, but that's okay. All right, I'm going to center it. If you wanted to hide that little speckle there too, I could have taken some ink and taken a little stamp that has some speckles and just kind of lightly dabbed on there, or given a little spritz of color from a marker. You can kind of tap it, but I'd just be afraid right now of doing too much on there. So let's see what. I guess maybe I can do 1, 2, 3 black dots, perhaps. Let's see what I have. Okay, I love my classic matte dots. And can you tell which color I use the most? The black. There's gray and there's vanilla and there's white. But I use black the most. I wish they had some that were only black. We used to have the classic matte dots that were a little bit bigger than these. I liked these because they're a little bit smaller. Okay, so I wonder, okay, the only ones I have left here are the small ones. So I am going to not be able to hide both of those, but I don't want a ribbon on the top there. I probably should have done some splatters, but anyway, I'm just going to pretend it's all good. Okay. 1, 2, and down here. Yeah, we'll do down there. Okay, so simple card, very smart looking, and it can go to anybody, right? Hoping each passing day lets in a little more sunshine. Let me show you what I did with the blue. Okay, I'm sorry, I'm not answering that. Okay, so I did this one as a vertical card. I did it in Balmy Blue and Azure Afternoon. And this one I did a very thin border of black all the way around and raised that up on the black dimensionals. And so instead of putting the die cut, I used the stamp that was from Delicate Forest. Okay, so that can obviously work too. So 2 different kind of ideas with the same concept. All right, so now what I did with the reverse, when I did the blue, I also did this idea here, right? And I took, let me just show you that. I'm not going to do the whole thing, but so you can see this is what my blue looked like. I did the card I just showed you with this around the outside. All right, so then when I did this one, I used, I mean, how soft and pretty is that, right? Didn't that come out kind of nice? So this layer was, again, done with the same Balmy Blue and Azure Afternoon, and I used the Softly Sophisticated 2-stamp flower in Garden Green and Red. And I just raised that up on dimensionals in the center of that circle there. So I didn't have to stamp over it. I just used that as my focal point to pop it up. And that white piece that was masked is kind of providing the frame. And then what better ribbon to use on here than this variegated Balmy Blue ribbon. It's Balmy Blue and white, and it worked perfectly with that blue layer, right? Okay, so I thought that was nice, but one thing that I did do, I made this a little darker, closer to the center, and it's lighter down here. So when I use the ribbon, notice one side of it is blue, the other side of it is white. Can you see that on the camera? I made sure to reverse it so we could see the contrast of the ribbon. So I put the lighter side of the ribbon up on the darker part of my card and the darker part of the ribbon down on the lower end of the card, just so that would stand out more. Okay. Yeah. All right. So you, with the self-sophisticated ribbon, I mean, okay. Melissa says, I can't tell, is the white under circle bigger? Yes. Yes, it is. I'm going to try to get closer here. All right. Can you see that? The white circle is bigger. That's 2 3/8. And then this circle in here, thank you for asking, Melissa, is a 2-inch circle. So I actually just have this in my stamp set from something I stamped before. I said, oh, that's going to work perfectly. So it's a 2-inch circle. So I either stamped it and then punched it, or maybe I had the circle and I punched the flower. I'm not sure which came first on that card, but I can show you quickly how that works. Okay, so you can do it either way. I did bring, oh, look at all the stuff I have out here. Let me make some room. Okay. I did bring my garden green and red ink pads out. So I wasn't sure if what I would put on that yellow card. I'm not sure if this would work, but let's maybe orange flowers. Should we try maybe the maybe we can try pumpkin pie on the orange flowers. Okay, if it doesn't work, I'll save it for something else. That's okay. It's all good. All good. All right, let me get, I move my scrap paper over here. That doesn't help. Wait, that's not the scrap. Nope, there's the scrap. Okay, so we'll take the leaves and the Softly Sophisticated. This is a stamp set that you can get for free with celebrations. Comes with that beautiful embossing folder. You can get both of them for the $100 order. Okay, speaking of orders, while I'm putting this together, tomorrow is the last day to place an order with me that is $50 or more, and you can get entered into my mystery host, my super mystery host for Sunday. For during the Super Bowl, I will be choosing winners of let me explain from the beginning. Okay, so with every $50 order, you get an entry raffle from me. Okay, this is all me. This is not a Stampin' Up! Run thing. This is just my fun thing to do for Super Bowl. So you place a $50 order for me, you get one entry to the raffle. You will choose a wheel that you want to get put on, either 49ers or the Chiefs. And you don't have to know anything about football, just pick one. If the Chiefs score, I will spin the Chiefs wheel, and whoever's name it lands on will get a small prize. Okay, so maybe embellishments or ribbon or something like that. Every time there's a score, I will spin the corresponding wheel. And then at the end of the game, I will spin the wheel of the winning team of the Super Bowl, and that person is going to win all the host rewards from all the combined orders. All right. So the more people that play, the higher those rewards are going to go. And if you spend $100, you get 2 entries. So you get an entry for every $50 you spend. So if you want to do that, you have to use the proper host code, which unfortunately I do not have in front of me, but I will put it in the description. I have it on Facebook. I'll put it on, it's on my blog. You can, go to stampwithlorraine.com and see it there, see all the directions there. But you do need for it to be on that host code. Otherwise, those host rewards aren't going to be grouped with everybody who's playing. Okay. So hopefully you do that. We have several people playing already, and the more that play, those rewards are going to go up and up. Last year, the rewards went up to $150. So not bad. You spend 50 or 100 and you can get 150 more. Plus you're still getting celebration, right? So you spend $50, you get to choose a celebration item. All right, let's see if this might be too much orange. I might not like this, but we'll take a look and see anyway. Okay. So there's a little bud here that's going to line up with this little sepal. I remembered the word now. It's a sepal. And I will just line that up. That's how you know what directions is going to go. All right. The green leaves that hold the bud is called the sepal. Okay. I know this looks pretty with orange flowers. Just a matter if it's going to do something for that card. I like it on this one because it's a simple card with a pop of color. That's often one thing that I like to do as well. Okay, so let's see what happens here. I will punch that out with my 2-inch circle so that we do get that border. Okay, Melissa was asking that. And that does look so pretty, doesn't it? Ooh, and it's so easy. I love two-step stamping. Okay. So here is what I brushed before, and I will get another card base. And then what I did on the blue card was I just popped this on with dimensionals there. Okay, doesn't look too bad, but it does need some contrast, right? So let me show you how I did this little banner. Pretty easy. I took one of my hundreds and hundreds of 1/4-inch strips. Okay, I mean 1/2-inch strips. Stamped my sentiment on there, and I will do the hello there that comes in the softly sophisticated. Hello. And I'm going to do that in black. Maybe I'll bring in black gingham ribbon because I need something to break up all that orange, right? So just so you get a little bit of the thought process. Oh, you know what? Here's something that I'm trying out. Let me know what you think. Sometimes when you have long sentiment stamps here, when you put them in the middle of your block, we tend to do. We just are creatures of trying to do that, I guess. I tend to put it right in the middle of my block. It's going to tend to wobble back and forth, right? And then sometimes you get ink on your lucite block, or you tip it, and I've seen some people actually put their image or their sentiment on more of the edge of a block. So when you lean on it, I know that I can feel that this is going to tip. I'm less likely to tip this down, if you know what I mean, because I'm leaning more on the top where I know my stamp is. And I've seen a lot of people do that. So I'm kind of trying out that system, and I'm thinking it's kind of working, especially when you have longer blocks. Like let's say I had this block. Let's say I wanted to maybe just use this stamp. I didn't want to take out another block. If I'm going like this, I know I'm kind of leaning on the edge there, and it's not going to wobble. Think about it. Try it out. Tell me what you think. Okay. Yes, Melissa, you can do it with any shape you want. You can even do it with no shape. You can just randomly brush on there. And that's what my other video was about years ago. So I'm going to put this at the top here. I'm going to put this back on my block before I put it back in the case. Okay, so this hello there sentiment fits very nicely on a 1/2-inch strip. Okay. I'm going to keep all my stamps over here that I have to clean and put away. Right up there. All right, you should see the mess surrounding the camera view. It's crazy. All right, then we have our strip here. I just cut on an angle so that both sides are on the same angle. Now you can go in either direction. I'll go in the opposite direction here, just to show how that looks. I'm going to go this way here. Now, what you might want to do is get the same angle over here. Some of you might be good at just eyeballing it. If you want to get the same angle, take the piece you cut off and flip it over to the other side. No, hello, this way. Yeah, there we go. I'm going to flip it over here like this so I can see my words. Okay, so just and then you can use that as a guide to make sure you get the same angle. Okay, do you see what I did there? And then I could just cut along there and it's going to be the same. All right, then I took my take your pick tool and I used this part to just curl the edge. Okay, this one I just did the top edge because there was space there. This one I'm going to do a little bit on the bottom edge. I don't want to do too much because I don't want to hide the letters. Just do a little bit there. And I can work it with my thumb to get it a little tighter even. And then I'm also going to do the one up here. And just kind of wrap it around. And then, like I said, you can roll it more with your fingers. There. All right, so let's see what this is going to turn out to be. Thanks for working it out with me. We'll see how it goes. Okay, put long step on an angle on your block. Oh, okay. Yeah, that works too. Thank you. Yeah, because then that is a great tip. Because that way it's not going to rock back and forth because it's dispersed. See, you're right, because you have some stamp up here, some down here, so it is less likely to rock. Okay, thank you for that tip. Excellent. All right, we're going to put this on there like that. I experimented on this one, putting the ribbon underneath, which could be okay, but I think I have a lot of extra space down here. So I'm going to put this one on this side so it covers up that little splotch there. Now, this is raised up on dimensionals, so I'm going to put dimensionals only on the left side of the sentiment, and I'll glue the other side down. Okay, one dimensional will work on the left, and then glue on the other side. That way it will be even. Okay. I think I smudged a little bit. That's okay. All right, so I think a black and white gingham ribbon down there would be just right. One of my favorites, right? What do you think? And I'll give you my quick ribbon tying trick again. Because always good to remember. Okay, so I do my left over the right and then tuck that under. Now, when that one goes under, it's going to sort of make a crisscross. That one's going to tend to want to go down, right? So I'm just going to hold that with my finger. And the part that's down, I'm going to make my first loop with. Now, if you want the ribbon, the bow, to go in the same direction as the ribbon, I'm going to call it the correct way, as in it matches. Think of correct and clockwise being the correct way, right? If you go counterclockwise, that's opposite. So I don't want my bow to go opposite as my ribbon that's wrapped around. I want to go the same. I want to go the correct way. So we're going to wrap this part around clockwise. This is what will make all the difference. If you want it to go the other way, go counterclockwise. This one's just going to go clockwise. Wrap that around. And we'll pull it through. Oh, I lost it. Try it again. So you get to see it again. Make the loop with the part that's down. Wrap it clockwise. And then we'll pull it. See? It's going to go in the proper direction. And then I can trim. Okay, I think that's cute. Now let's see if we want a black layer underneath. That might just tie it all together. Oh, what I would have had to have trimmed it though. Or I could cut my black layer, just cut a new black layer slightly bigger. I might have to just do that. So, do I have my black paper out? Yes, I do. Now let's give that a quick whirl, and then I think we can call it a day, perhaps. Okay, hold on. Okay, I might want to make this a little smaller, but let's see. This is 5¼ by 4. Let's see how that looks. Okay, I think I like bringing in a little bit more of that black in there. I think that looks better. So I will do that. And also I'm going to put a glue dot underneath my bow to hold that down. By the way, if your bow isn't tight enough, it's if you have too much gap in the part that you wrapped around, what I do is I snip this in the snip this in the back and then pull it tight, and then I just glue it or tape it down in the back so that's tight. So this one happened to work out okay. So, all right, let's put this together. And I think we're kind of done for the day. I wanted to show you one that used just not a shape, where you can just make a strip across. You've probably seen cards like that, but I won't take up the time right now. I will do some of those on my own and post them back on Facebook here. So take a look, and hopefully I'll get some up on my blog as well. Okay, maybe this needs a little, I'm going to put dimensionals on here. It might need a little shine, a little bling, maybe some rhinestones to spice it up a little bit. Okay, here we go, 9. Can't help myself. Just going to resign myself to doing it. Okay, here we go. Yeah, just run my finger across the edge. Actually, you know what? I find the black ones are a little more sticky. Has anybody else noticed that? The backs to the black dimensionals seem to not come off quite as easy. I mean, it's pretty easy, but not quite as easy as the white ones do. Okay, I think we need some rhinestones on here to brighten it up. Okay, I'm just going to use my Basic Jewels rhinestones. And I used up the bigger ones already. So I have some medium and I have some tiny ones. So I'm just going to stick with the medium ones. I'm going to use my putty tip for this and grab those right off. Okay, when you use that, just pop it and slide it, and they will come off. All right, let's put one there. Ooh, looks better already. Maybe another one here. Another one down there. Okay, that brings, might not be able to see it so much on the camera, but that just bring a little extra shine to an otherwise what I would think sort of a flat looking card. But I think we've kind of done best we can with that one. All right, so tell me which ones you like, and I will show you some other ideas with masking in other directions and other ways. You can take your computer paper, just your plain paper. Okay, here we go. And you can mask the bottom and the top of your card and do your blending as a strip in between here, and then add your stamps over it once you're done. So I'll show you some ideas for that, because that's one of my favorite looks. I did some of those a while ago. I'm wondering if there's a card over there. Not at the moment. Anyway, I'll do some more with the new products and show that down below. Let me bring those cards out right now, and we can compare everything we've got. Put my tools away. And I'm glad so many of you joined on today. Thank you so much. I always enjoy your comments. I enjoy your additional tips and tricks. You always can use those. All right. So here we have those two that are there. This was the other orange one, and I just buried the other blue one, didn't I? Oh. Oh, here it is, upside down. Ta-da. There we go. Okay, so all different kinds of looks, always different things that you can do, but keep it kind of plain and simple. Basically, just one stamp or one die cut, and you can embellish it as much or as little as you want, and you really get a nice, clean, and simple look. I mean, this is like so simple. You can even do this on a single layer card if you want, and just have a whole set of note cards. You can whip them up real quick. They would make a nice gift for somebody, and try it with different colors and see what you can do. I encourage you, if you try some of these, please post in my Facebook page. I will put these up in a post following the live, and then you can add your images in the comments. Okay, you can't create your own posts on my page, but you can put them in the comments. So I do appreciate seeing those. I like seeing what you do. You could have other ideas, other colors. I don't have time to do them all. So it's nice to see other people's ideas as well. Okay, you like the orange and black one? Oh, Betty, thank you. Thank you. So that turned out okay. Thank you, Kathy. I appreciate that. And Chris and everybody who's on. So give you one last minute to make sure if you didn't put your say hello in the comments, do that so that you are entered into my raffle for a free prize just for watching live. If you're from, this has to be just in the U.S. Okay, I have to say, because shipping is a lot for me if I have to ship it overseas. All right. So, but I still appreciate the people watching from UK, from Australia, from every place, from other places in Europe, wherever you are from, Canada, I saw. So I do appreciate all that. So keep watching and come back and stay involved. All right. I appreciate that. Thank you. Have a great day, everybody. Barbara, I'll give you a call soon and see how things are going. All right. Hope you have a few minutes. All right. Take care, everybody. Have a great week. Bye-bye.